My name is Ken Foreman. I'll call the November 30th meeting of the Falmouth Zoning Board of Appeals to order. Let me begin by asking you all to silence your cell phones if you have cell phones, and also begin by introducing the board. So from your left, we have Jerry Patavis, who's an associate member of the board, TJ Hurry, who's the vice chair of the board. Eventually, Kim Beelan will be here. She's clerk of the board. Ed Van Kuren, who's a voting member of the board. Paul Murphy, voting member of the board. And Robert Dugan, who's associate member of the board and will be acting as clerk and will sit on this first hearing. So just a little background about how we conduct the meetings. The Zoning Board of Appeals is charged with applying the zoning bylaws for the town of Falmouth and considering requests for special permits, for comprehensive permits, variances, and appeals as provided by the our bylaws, which have been approved by town meeting and also by the Attorney General's office for the Commonwealth. Our decisions are made through a public hearing process. Our goal is to hear testimony from the applicants and from the public and allow full and fair discussion of each project before rendering a decision. To begin each hearing, we will ask the clerk to read a public announcement of the hearing and present any pertinent information from the file, for example, referrals from town departments. Then we will ask the applicant's representative or the applicant to make a presentation. Typically, we limit those presentations to 15 minutes. Although by vote of the board we can extend that. The board will then ask questions of the applicant, and then we will invite the public, we will invite you to comment. So please, if you wish to comment, raise your hand, wait to be recognized by the chair, then go to the podium and use the microphone, because that picks up your voice so that it can be broadcast to the greater public through Falmouth TV. And if you, I would ask that other than that, that you refrain from making comments. Don't disrupt the meeting by having side discussions out there. So public comments should be directed only at the project. You should refer them to the board, and obviously avoid derogatory statements. You certainly can express an opinion in opposition. We also welcome opinions in favor or just questions about the project. Each person coming forward, we grant you 2 minutes, and then again, if you need some extra time, let us know. But we would like to keep things moving along. If the board feels we have enough information, we'll close the hearing. We may have board discussion and then make a motion, either in favor or opposed, and vote that. Approval requires a supermajority 4-to-1 vote. If we feel that we need additional information, we will continue the hearing to a date certain in the future, and we'll let you know what that date and time is. So that's basically a summary of how we conduct our meetings and the process. We have 2 hearings tonight. One is a special permit to construct a addition to the second floor, and the other, which is I suspect the reason most of you are here, is a proposed comprehensive 40B permit off Helmuth Circle. So the first hearing, 088-17, is McGowan, 1 Iroquois Street in T-Ticket, and Robert, do you have an announcement?
Yep. Okay, so application number 08817, being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11 of Chapter 40A of the Massachusetts General Laws, you are hereby notified that Jody Lane and Robert Paul McGowan, trustees of Upton, Mass., applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a special permit pursuant to Sections 240-3C of the Code of Falmouth to construct an addition to the second floor, creating habitable space within the pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling on subject property known as 1 Iroquois Street, T-Ticket, Mass. For referrals, Marine and Environmental, no comment. Concom, no filing was received. Must file notice of intent due to proximity to wetland, 25 to 30 feet. Also within flood zone AE 12. Does this trigger requirement to meet flood zone standards? Dry wells to contain roof runoff. Engineering, standard comment. Fire Department, no comment. Assessors, no comment. Planning, no comment. And no letters in support or opposition.
Okay. And are there any plans to be distributed? or- Okay, and for the applicant, we have,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Kevin Clower. I'm an attorney with Ahmed Clower Law Firm here in Falmouth, and I represent the applicants Jody and Robert McGowan, trustees, owners of the property at 1 Iroquois Street, East Falmouth. I have to thank my client for his fortuitous phone call at 10 minutes ago, reminding me it was a 5:30 hearing tonight, and my short commute.
should have called me.
It is, the property at 1 Iroquois Street is located off of Mara Vista in a densely populated section of Falmouth. It's on a lot of approximately 4,860 square feet, and it's located in the residential C zoning district. This lot contains the existing dwelling, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-story home, having a footprint of 1,594 square feet and height of 19 feet 10 inches. The dwelling is non-conforming in a number of ways. It's non-conforming as to 2 front yard setbacks, Little Bay Street and Iroquois Street, being 20.5 feet from Iroquois Street and 8.4 feet from Little Bay Street. Since neither of those meet the required front yard setback, they're both considered non-conforming front yard setbacks. In addition, it's non-conforming to the rear yard setback, being 9.9 feet where 10 feet is required, and to lot coverage by structures being 33.7% where 20% is allowed by right, and up to 25% is allowed by special permit. The entirety of the lot is located in the AE 12 flood zone. The applicants are before you today to seek permission to make renovations to both the interior and exterior of the home. Specifically, they're seeking to build out over the existing roof space on the 2nd floor. It's currently about a 1.5-story structure, looking to make it basically a full 2-story structure. And in doing so, increasing the habitable space of the building. These changes will increase and improve the interior space of the dwelling and will improve the aesthetics, comfort, and functionality of the home for the applicants. The clerk mentioned that the applicants are of Upton. They've actually since relocated to Falmouth on a full-time basis. So, and in doing so, they're seeking to make this home more useful for them as a full-time home rather than a seasonal home. This proposed addition will not impact the existing nonconformities in any way whatsoever. There will be no increase in the square footage of the footprint. The lot coverage will remain the same, as will the side and front yard setbacks. The roof line of the proposed addition will be in line with the existing height, ridge height, not increasing the height of the dwelling at all, and being well below the allowed 35 feet. The number of bedrooms in the home will be increased from 3 bedrooms to 4, but this project is on the Little Pond Sewer District. Due to the existing nonconformities, this proposal requires a special permit from you under zoning bylaw section 240-3C, which states that pre-existing non-conforming structures may be changed by special permit, provided they're not substantially more detrimental than what currently exists. The bylaw goes on to state that the board should consider the standards of 240-216 and whether the alteration creates a new dimensional nonconformity, impacts user vistas, and reasonably conforms to the dimensions found in the neighborhood. In this case, the non-conforming aspects of the dwelling will remain unchanged, and the proposed addition is within the existing footprint in an area that provides a more useful flow of the interior for the applicant. There are no detriments to the project relative to the existing structure. The proposed project will not cause any adverse effects. There's no new nonconformities, and this will not result in any additional nonconformities. No public view or vista will be impaired, and the project meets the standards of 240-216. I wanted to address the Concom referral briefly. Once that referral did come over, the engineer has been working with the Conservation Commission. An RDA, I believe, is filed. This does not require a notice of intent because there's no change to the lot coverage on the lot. So the engineer has been working with conservation on that, and obviously any building permit will require sign off from conservation as well, so we'll be going through, I believe, the RDA process. Based on this information, I would ask that you grant this request for a special permit. I'd be happy to address any questions the board may have at this time, because I don't think this is the most pressing issue that the board is facing this evening.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Let's see if the board has questions. Let's start with Robert.
No questions.
No questions, thank you.
One question. You say in the attachment to the request, you said the existing septic system will be replaced? I thought it was connected to the town.
That was a misstatement then. In my
Okay, all right. That's all I have.
Anything, TJ?
Follow-up question there. Have they connected to the sewer yet, or?
We have not, that will be done.
If we need to hear through your
No.
representative.
Not yet. Yes, not yet.
Thanks. And the lot coverage is a bit high, and I noticed there was a shed on the property. Will that remain?
It will, because there's no garage. We need some storage space for tools. If there was a garage, I'd advocate for the removal of it, but it's a pretty small shed and is used for, storage of tools and other necessities for a yard, small though it may be.
And one of the setbacks is to Little Bay, and just for the record, Little Bay is a paper road.
Mhm.
That's it for me.
No questions.
Okay, I don't think, since TJ asked the question about Little Bay, he took away my question, so. Dry wells.
Sure. I think the applicant would be happy to install dry wells per engineer recommendation in order to maintain any runoff on site.
Okay, that probably would be an improvement. All right, let's see if there are no more board questions. If, Sari, do you have anything?
I'm just concerned as to when, since they're increasing from 3 to 4 bedrooms, when it will be hooked up to the sewer system, or would you be amenable to a condition by the board if they approve it, that there's no occupancy for the 4th bedroom until such time that it is attached?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see if the public has any questions or comments. Anyone in the public wish to comment on this project? Okay, seeing nothing in the public, is there, the board feel they have enough information, we could have a motion to close?
I'll make a motion to close.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
And aye. Okay, and then we could have a motion to, I presume, approve the project.
Make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made by Ed, seconded by TJ, to approve. Any findings?
I hope so.
240-3C, not more detrimental.
Okay.
I can't hear you, Jerry.
240-3C, not more detrimental.
Okay?
Okay, so let's say Ed said that. And
It said that?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You're not a voting member.
But I can speak,
Remember
right? You
on
don't have to
this
listen.
I heard that.
I can help out since I seconded it.
Yeah, you should.
absolutely.
240-216.
Thank you.
There's no increase in the nonconformities. In fact, they're all remaining the exact same. They're increasing from 2 to 3 bedrooms.
3 to 4.
3 to 4.
I'm sorry, 3 to 4. All right. And I'd say the proposed changes, they enhance the utilization of the property.
How about the finding that, about the septic, or the sewer being hooked up? You
Yeah.
want
Right.
to, because that's got to support a condition?
I
Want me to
think
do the language?
Testimony had it they will soon connect to the sewer system, and then we'll come up with that condition later. And testimony had it that the applicant is amenable to dry wells per their engineer's recommendations. Anything else for fun?
Well, that they're working with Conscom on
The RDA.
Yeah, on the RDA. And then I think the other thing that's worth noting is that Little Bay Road exists only on paper. And it's really a wetland.
Keep your doctor hat at home.
Not that I
Don't use
want,
that word around here.
not, is it per the town engineer or per their engineer for install?
Their engineer,
Okay, because
Their
usually
engineer.
it's, runoff's not allowed.
our town engineer is not representing these people, so it's their engineer.
But does that need to be a finding?
It is a finding.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe.
Again,
we
I
not-
I would like to ask the public, please refrain from side conversations.
It's a finding, Jerry.
Oh, okay, I missed it, sorry.
Okay, do you feel we have
Conditions.
enough findings? So conditions, the
Build it like
The-
the
So we
drawing.
had some
If-
proposed
if
language
the
about the sewer.
The proposed condition was no occupancy of the fourth bedroom until they're
So
hooked
connect
up
to town sewer.
to the sewer.
And verification of said connection.
Yeah. That it be verified that they're connected. And I guess we might want to include something that says any conditions imposed by the Conservation Commission. Sometimes we do that, don't we?
We do sometimes. This is an RDA.
Right, but we don't know where it's
I
going to
think
go.
you made a finding.
We don't know where it's going to go, do we?
It's not changing the footprint or anything. I
Right.
mean,
So
it's
the
up to
expect-
it's up to the board. If you
I mean,
guys want a
construction
condition,
runoff and things like that?
if you want a condition,
Well, I think that's an issue.
yeah.
I think that's a potential issue. During construction, they might ask for hay bales or something.
oh, they will. They
So-
always do, yes.
Right, so I think we just save it.
Ken, if I may,
Mhm.
Concom, if there are any conditions, will impose the conditions, which will be a separate order. So those will be just as enforceable as a special permit decision. So I
They
think
have to
it's
be
superfluous on some levels.
in the registry as well.
Okay, so Suri, you're happy with just doing it that way?
It's up to the board, I'm sorry.
But I think what Cerise said, and you didn't hear, was that our conditions get registered or the Concom's get registered? Or both get registered?
Both get,
Oh, so then it's
Yeah.
protected.
they're both enforceable.
Okay, so I think probably we're, okay, there we are. All right, so we're ready to vote?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
And aye. Okay, so it passes unanimously?
Thank you very much. I expect your next one will be just as quick.
Aren't you funny? We take a 10-minute break?
Okay, so 10-minute recess.
She's almost here.
We're waiting for our seventh member, fifth one, how many?